Everyone, welcome back to the Unleashing Potentials podcast. So, joining me today is Rima, all the way from India. Welcome, Rima.
Thank you so much, Bernadette. I am super happy to be on this podcast and super happy to be talking to all those wonderful people out there.
Hmm. What time is it in India right now?
It's about 8:40 p.m. in the evening. It's a Friday night. And yeah, I'm just excited to be talking to you.
Yeah, that's so exciting. It's 9 a.m. here, 9:11.
Mhm.
Massive time difference. Wow, that's so cool.
It's so cool. We're in this beautiful new world where, we get to connect irrespective of time zones. And
Yeah.
I think that's very beautiful, very unifying, actually.
You're right. Yeah. I'm in Canada. It's been smoky but nice. Today it's nice. Yeah. So Rima, can you tell us more about you and what you do?
So, I am a confidence and communication coach. I specialize in voice, video, and visibility.
Mhm.
And I have been doing work in the field of communication skills for over 20 years because I have a background in media. So, I used to be a radio show host in India and in the Emirates, in Dubai, to be specific, for about 9 years collectively. And then I've also done a lot of theater. So, I'm a multilingual theater and voice artist. I am the owner of an educational startup called Creativity. So that's something that is very close to my heart because I work with school children. I train them in value creating communication skills and performance skills. And
Mhm.
of course, I'm a coach for women, and I'm actually like an activator of women's voices. I want them to, rise up, speak up, and shine, and really create the impact that they truly desire to.
Mhm. Yeah, that's awesome. I've talked to so many different coaches. It's very beautiful what you guys do.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, what are some myths or misunderstandings that you think some people have about coaches?
I feel like, people think that coaches are people who are going to fix things for them,
Mm,
and I feel like that's a mindset that doesn't
mm,
work for the one who's getting coached and definitely creates a lot of difficult situations for the coach, even. I think a coach is like someone who's like a friend, a guide who can sort of handhold you in difficult moments, but you've got to take the steps ahead.
mm,
So I'll take you on, I'll give you strategies and methods and give you exercises and worksheets and, like give you knowledge, but you've got to take the step yourself. In
mm,
fact, I feel like coaching is the modality that honors responsibility above everything.
mm,
Responsibility from both sides, responsibility from the coach and responsibility from the person who's getting coached.
mm,
So that is one misunderstanding that if I hire a life coach, my life is going to be sorted. If I hire a business coach, my business is going to be sorted. Yes, it will be if you take responsibility and if you take the actions and if you show up for yourself.
mm. Yeah, thank you for expressing that because so many people want to see coaches or other professionals, but they're not willing to put in the work. They want
Yeah,
someone to fix them. They don't want to do the work.
I agree.
Mhm,
Absolutely.
mhm. How would you describe yourself, Rima?
Well, I would say a lot of people call me childlike. Okay, so I mean, disclaimer, I am not a child, very much not. But I don't know, I've always been described as childlike. I live pretty much very present in the moment.
Mm,
And that has to do with probably my spiritual practice, which I embraced at the age of 17. So it's
mhm,
been 20 years now. And I feel like that sort of teaches you, and the kind of life that I have led, it's taught me that, right now, this moment today is so important. It's so
mhm,
beautiful. So
mhm,
I try and live it completely and fully to the extent I can.
mhm. Yeah, I love that. I think everyone should be that way to some extent because
Yeah.
as we mature as adults, we grow up, we have even more responsibilities. We forget that it's okay to have fun and smile and kind of let go once in a while. So I like that
Absolutely.
about you.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you so much.
welcome. Yeah. Um, so what are you most passionate about in life? Are there certain hobbies and things you do that gives you joy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super passionate about my spiritual practice because I feel like I derive a lot of life force and joy from it. there is a mosque right next to my house, so there's like a call to prayer. I hope that's not interfering with us. So yeah, I don't know if you can hear that. It's going to get a little loud,
Oh
but
no,
if
that's
you would,
okay.
yeah.
Would be
Okay, so
cool if we can hear it too.
oh, you can't? Okay, because it's so loud next to me. I felt like, oh my God, she's gonna hear it. So
Oh no, it's
that kind
okay. Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah.
that's what India is all about. Sometimes you're listening to temple bells, sometimes you're listening to the call to prayer from the mosque, or something else. So we're,
Mhm,
we're very, very celebratory in that sense all the
mhm,
time, in a very public way, so to speak. A lot of music and dance happening on the streets, festivals being celebrated, people praying, people, really owning themselves, so to speak. Yeah,
mhm,
coming to what we were speaking about, I'm super passionate about my spiritual path because I feel I derive a lot of life force.
mhm,
And from there stem all my other hobbies because once I have the life force and the energy, then I want to sing, I want to dance, I want to write poetry. I am super passionate about the movies because, I used to
mhm,
be at radio, so I used to critique films, I used to critique music. I've
mhm,
done a lot of theater, so the craft of acting is very close to my heart. And all of
mhm,
these things somewhere have to do a lot with the voice. Uh,
mhm,
it's all connected to my work. So I keep like, sometimes I coach actors, sometimes I coach theater actors, not film actors. Sometimes I coach singers.
mhm.
I don't teach them how to sing, but I teach them how to get the best out of their voice. So I'm constantly dabbling in these creative pursuits so that I can also be a better coach.
Mm. You know what? I love that you help people express themselves
Yes,
because
that's so.
even though so many of us are speaking, we somehow are not always able to truly express what we mean to say or how we want to say it because we're afraid of either offending people or just being rejected by people. I
Yeah.
truly love that you're doing that because it's needed.
Yeah, and it is like because I do believe that the voice does the work of your higher self or your soul. So
Mhm,
we have to activate our voices and we've got to be as true to ourselves and as authentic as possible, but in the most compassionate way, in the most inclusive way. I mean, just because I want to be authentic, I can't go around hurting people because that's not why I was given this voice.
mhm,
I was given this voice to nurture, to encourage, to inspire, to probably enlive in someone's life, to make someone laugh, to
mhm,
really care about someone, to express my love. So I feel like you should be true to yourself. Truest possible self should be expressed, most authentic, in the kindest, most compassionate manner. And that would really make the world a beautiful place to live in.
mhm, mhm. I agree. I agree definitely. How many languages do you speak?
So I speak about 5 languages.
Oh, oh
Yeah,
wow.
three of them in Indian. Like we in India, there are many languages. I only speak three, but I can understand the rest because we live around people. We constantly listen to them, and then of course I speak English and a little bit of French. But it's like I'm still learning. I would say. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so cool. Yeah, I understand French, English, Spanish I can manage.
Mhm.
And then I speak Creole.
Oh, beautiful. That's a rare language, right?
Yeah, Haitian Creole, it is, yes. And it's very
Beautiful.
close to it has alphabet that are very similar to Spanish and English, which makes
Oh,
it
okay.
easy to learn. Yeah,
I didn't know that it was so easy to learn. It sounds super exotic and rare when you say,
it
you know.
is. Yeah, yeah. People say I have an accent. Can you pick it up or no?
You have an interesting accent. I mean, from someone who's a voice professional, I mean, I'm listening to your voice very keenly. It's just something I do. I can't help myself. I can't shut that part of me. You have a
Mhm,
very nice accent. It's very different. Like
mhm.
if you wouldn't have told me that you're from Canada, I would have probably not picked up on that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Um, were you always, did you always wanted to be a voice coach
Oh,
growing up?
no, it just led me down this path. All I wanted to do all my life was just act, you know,
Mhm,
theater and sing.
mhm,
And then when I started doing radio, I realized I also like the theater of the voice. I don't necessarily have to be in front of the camera or in front of people.
mhm,
And then I got to know so much about voice that I started to, gain a very keen interest in that field. And also I suffered from debilitating voice fatigue. I
mhm,
almost lost my voice because of exhaustion. of overusing it, using it in the wrong manner. So I had to go back and learn the right techniques, the right breathing, the right sort of practices with the voice. And that got very interesting for me. And that's when I also uncovered the connection between voice and body, or voice and mind, or voice and emotions. And then I was able to kind of, develop different modalities which would help someone to achieve voice mastery on a mental, physical, emotional, energetic level. So it all led me down this path. It's not like I planned it out.
Yeah, most of us don't. We sometimes we're forced to just follow our paths. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
really cool. Do you sing as well?
Yeah, I'm trained in Indian classical singing. So yeah, once in a while, I also do singing is also for me a form of expression. So sometimes I sing to just release stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I sing, it's not professionally. I always
Mhm.
tell people that because again, it goes to having confidence and speaking our truth. We feel that we're not good enough or embarrassed and kind of shut everything off. That's what I did for so long. Um,
Right.
yeah, so I sing for fun. And like you said, it is so healing. I love it.
It's beautiful.
Mm. Um, so when you were doing radio shows, what topics did you talk about and what was your audience like?
So when I first started out, I was just out of college. I am an engineer, by the way. So I've studied engineering. So I was right out of engineering college. I won this contest, which won me a job in the radio. So
Mhm.
super excited, very young, very enthusiastic. And at that point, I spoke to college students, and I took like requests and dedications from them. I spoke to them about their dating lives, etc. And then as I kind of grew in the profession, I grew in maturity, I started doing like heavier shows, which would involve a lot of film critiquing, music critiquing, but mostly because India is the land of Bollywood. Most of our radio shows revolved around Bollywood music and speaking to actors and interviewing them, speaking to
Mhm.
sports personalities, musicians, business people, stuff like that.
Mhm. That's so I love Bollywood music and the singing. I listen to it sometimes. I don't even know what they're saying or the language and the dance. It's so beautiful.
It is, it is. It's very, very heartfelt.
Yeah.
And it evokes a certain emotion in you, which probably some genres of music, they evoke those emotions over a period of time. A Bollywood song is like an instant reaction in your heart and your brain and your body. You want to dance to those songs, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so colorful, all the dancing, and it's just magical. I wish I could dance like that one day.
Oh, it's actually really, really easy. All you need to do, because all of us learned by just watching those songs. So when we were kids, we'd watch those songs and copy those steps. And as a result, today, all of us here are Bollywood dancers.
Yeah, that's really cool. Um, Tell me more about your focus on education.
So I started working in the field of education without having an educational degree. Like I told you, I'm an engineer who was in the media. And then I went through voice fatigue and I started to fix my voice. And then I was really ill for about 2 years and I was going through the toughest phase of my life. And I felt very disconnected from people. I felt like,
Mhm.
people communicate with you authentically.
Mhm.
They're not there for you in the real, very deep, profound sense of the word. So I somehow got this eureka moment where I realized that what if we start teaching children how to communicate in the most value creating manner? And what if we
Mhm.
start as young as a 4 year old or a 5 year old? And
Mhm.
over a period of time, we keep training them, and that's going to be the way they communicate. A very heartfelt, authentic, inclusive, compassionate, authentic way of communication. And I don't know, somehow that was my little attempt at, let's try and raise a generation of really conscious communicators, so to speak.
Mhm.
Started working with a small group of kids and started implementing my voice and communication techniques. And then eventually, word caught on. I started connecting with schools and different parents and different parent groups. So now I officially work with a lot of schools in my city.
Mhm.
And
Mhm. Yeah.
that was the reason I got into education.
That's really cool because with kids, that's the perfect place to start, to
Yeah,
teach them to be expressive,
yeah.
to speak their truth. So I
Mhm.
like that you do that as well.
Thank you.
hmm Um, What is one piece of advice you would give to anyone who would like to enter the profession that you're in right now?
The education or the coaching?
Both.
Well, if you're starting an educational startup, because edtech became a very big buzzword in the pandemic because all the children were at home. So I felt like a lot of people entered the field of education, especially with school going kids between the ages of 7 to 15. A lot of companies and people stepped in without doing any sort of market research, without priming themselves with knowledge about what is it that a parent really wants for their child and what is it that children really need.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those startups make a lot of money in the pandemic. And post the pandemic, it's literally that they're going out of business and laying off people by the thousands. And
Mm-hmm.
the only reason for that is not because, they're doing anything wrong. The problem is their product is not sound enough. Their
Mm-hmm.
product is not really catered to the deepest needs of the parent and the deepest needs of the student. And because I was a solo entrepreneur, I worked my way up. So I have had so much of interaction with parents and children that I literally have my hand on the pulse of parents, whether
Mm-hmm.
it is pricing, whether it is content, whether it is designing the module, whether it's the delivery of the module, whether it's the connection you build with parents, the connection you build with students. I feel like education again is a very heartfelt endeavor because you're teaching someone's child, and someone's child is literally their life.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to trust you. They want to really hand over their kid to you and say, please teach him or please teach her. So I think earning the trust, building that connection, really honoring and valuing each student, those are the basic principles that one should really look at if you really want to build an edtech brand. And it's okay if you want to build a global brand, you still have to go to the ground floor and build this foundation. You can't have a global brand otherwise, even in the days of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In terms of coaching, that's like, a totally different. I would say it's similar because we're still teaching, but because you're working with adults, and especially I work with women from all different diverse fields and countries. I think again, building connection, getting to know people, being very diligent and sincere in this world, because I feel like because it's a world which is unregulated, a lot of people are not responsible enough in the way they deliver their coaching product or their course or their programs. I feel being very responsible and really, being very diligent and making sure that every day you're delivering a high quality product or a high quality coaching session, that's when you're going to get a lot more clients, a lot of more word of mouth, a lot of trust, a lot of credibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, because not everyone is able to afford uh,
Yeah,
the cost of coaching.
exactly.
Yeah, so maybe, in my opinion, it's making sure that cost is not a barrier for those who
Yeah,
want to access what people are offering, because
yeah,
over time people go somewhere else where they can afford the
yeah,
services or
absolutely.
anything that that person may be offering.
Yeah.
Mhm. Um, what is your biggest fear? Could be anything, maybe skydiving.
Fear.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So skydiving, no. So I have a fear of the water, though I do engage in a lot of activities. Like I go in into the water on a beach. I'll enter a swimming pool. Sorry, I'm just gonna
Mhm.
cancel this. Yeah, I'll enter a swimming pool. All of that I will do. But somehow I really feel I do have a fear of the water. So
Mhm.
that's that in terms of situations, life situations. But otherwise, I mean, I have a very interesting fear that I keep sharing with people, which probably stems from my ego self. I have fear of being mediocre because it's not necessarily a bad thing, but for me, it's like, oh my God, what if I'm mediocre? And you have to grow up, girl. You can't get stuck in this. But yeah, that's something that's really propelled me forward in life because I've always tried not to just do things for the sake of it or not just be somebody for the heck of it, just really try to, do my best at every point in time. So
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, you're right. I have that fear too, because I'm helping people and sharing and speaking.
right.
Um, yeah, I fight with the ego because I always want to be authentic and who I am. But
Yeah,
sometimes the ego steps forward and I have to
right.
kind of pull it back. I think all of us have those kind of fears and things we work on. Sometimes we don't. Yeah, that's a valid fear for sure.
Thank you.
Hmm. Um, let's see. Yeah. So do you have a podcast as well?
I'm about to launch a podcast and it's in the works. I've been wanting to do one for a really long time because my love for radio and love for the audio medium. I feel like the audio medium can be so powerful. It's just so underutilized.
Mhm.
But because I'm always juggling time between family and two businesses, sometimes I feel like, a podcast is also an added responsibility. And then I want it to not be mediocre. So it has to be stellar. So you know how it is. So I'm just taking my time with it. But yes, very soon, I think I'm going to be inviting you to be a guest on my podcast.
Yeah, I'd love to be. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because, life gets in the way sometimes. Because me,
Correct.
I'm a single mom with two kids. I paint and I run the entire house. And
So,
I do podcasting on the side. It's my playground, I call it. But
right.
between editing, interview, booking, like I'm just on my own. But you're right. It's a lot of work. But when you have the passion and the desire and the fire, it
Yeah.
can be done for sure. And yes, I'd love to be a guest when you start.
Beautiful. I am so looking forward to that.
Yeah, and you have the background for it. I don't have any speaking background. I'm
Doing a
just going with,
great job, by
yeah.
the way.
What was that?
I said you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Sometimes I don't know if what I'm saying, doing is right, but I just listen to my heart, my brain. It helps.
And that's why it works because it's coming from the heart.
Yeah. Um, what is one of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome over the last year?
Over the last 1 year,
Yeah.
uh, so I've been fighting depression on and off since I was a teenager.
Mm,
So 2021, I think it revisited me in a really big way,
mhm,
specifically November 2021. So I think a year from that, which would be like till about November 2022, it's just been about, really focusing on what is in front of me rather than letting the thoughts of the darkness in my head, overwhelm my life. So yeah, I would definitely say depression is one of the most massive challenges that I've been kind of, I would not say overcome, I've been embracing as
mhm,
past.
mhm,
I've been
mhm,
making it my own. I've been making it my friend. Because when you befriend it, it's so much kinder to you than when you're fighting it all the time. Because
mhm,
it's not the enemy. It's honestly just a symptom of so much trauma that you've been through.
mhm. Yeah, you're right. I also struggle with depression. It's not something that goes away completely or goes
Yeah.
away at all. Uh,
Yep.
it's I don't know. I just make the best of it because it's so easy to, you know, go so low, and it doesn't take long for that to happen, to be hit so hard with it. And I always tell people that it's okay, to those are human emotions to have and to feel and to embrace.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm happy to hear that you're embracing it and making it your friend versus the opposite.
Yep. Because the opposite, I tried for a few years when I was a teenager in my early 20s.
Hmm.
And I realized that, just demonizing depression or just making it the villain in your life is not the answer. You've got to be so kind and compassionate with it because it's just trying to tell you something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Um, so what is the craziest thing that you've ever done? It could be adventure or a fear or something you overcome and did it. It was crazy, but you did it.
Hmm. I think like the craziest thing that I've done would be I think, I was an untrained radio show host, and like I walked into the office one fine day, and this is my first week, and they told me, We're going to train you for 1 month and then we're going to put you on air." I walked into the office and they're like, "Within 20 minutes, you're going live on air." I'm like, "Are you
Oh.
serious? Are you for real? This is the first one in my life. I've never done this. And the whole city is going to be listening to me live." And they're like, "But this is your job now." And I said, "Okay, fine, bring it on." And I went and did it. you know I
Wow.
don't know what it was. I mean, I'm sure I sounded a little immature because I was very young. I'm sure my voice is not as polished as it is today. I'm sure that I goofed up the content a little bit, but today I was like, wow, this is really cool. It makes me feel slightly invincible, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's really cool. That's so
Yeah,
cool. Um, I wish all of us could, go full force. And it's and understanding that it's okay to feel fear. I think fear um, kills our dreams
yeah,
because we just completely shut down and pull back.
yeah. We go into like a freeze response, I feel, with fear, and then we're so numb that we can't take action. And
Mhm.
as of the past 2 years, I've again been trying to befriend my fear a little bit because I feel like the only reason the fear has so much power over me is because I refuse to feel it.
Mm, mhm,
I'm
mhm,
resisting feeling it. So sometimes I just sit and like, I have a conversation with my fear. It's like fear and me, a coffee chat. I'm like, okay, come sit. What do you want to say to me? I'm here for you. And
mhm,
then on and on. And I'm like, I'll slowly negate and refute every point. So you're
mhm,
scared of, we could do this if this happens. And then eventually I feel much better after that conversation. Of course, it's not a conversation I want anybody to witness. They probably think I've lost it. But yeah, I do have a conversation with my fear.
mhm.
Like,
Yeah, I love
it's
that.
on my side than against me.
Yeah, I love that you do that. And it's not a crazy thing to do. It's if we don't do that, then someone else is going to have to mediate what we're saying
Right,
to our fears, which is therapy and whatnot.
right.
Yeah. When it comes to coaching, what are some fears that you notice is holding people back from pursuing and becoming a better version of themselves?
I guess primarily lack of self-worth, lack of self-love, which is common and universal, very, very common among women. Not that men don't have it, but women basically just it runs very deep. Child trauma, conditioning, patriarchy, you name it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, of love, lack of self worth, the imposter syndrome, which shows up even for women who are like, seven-figure earners, eight-figure earners. They're still feeling like imposters. They're still feeling like, who am I to be sharing this information?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I feel like fear of success as well as fear of failure.
Mm. Yes, I
Success will
get
change
that.
your life, so you don't want change, so you're scared of it and you're sabotaging yourself. And then of
Mhm.
course fear of failure, because probably, we've all been told so many cautionary tales. Oh, but
Mhm.
if you start a business, you end up on the streets. It's better to just, even if you're not happy, it's better to go and keep that job of yours. So we've
Mhm.
been told these stories that we're constantly just fear of fail. There's so much fear of failing.
Mhm. Mhm. You're right. And yeah, you're right. Among women, it's worse. It's bad. That's why I love talking to other women from all over the world because there's power in connection and sharing stories and failures and triumphs. I just love that. I absolutely love it. Mhm.
It is
Um,
a
yeah.
beautiful connection and a sort of a solidarity that you're creating amongst women all over the world. So very, very required in today's world.
Thank
You
you.
know, I could have this beautiful conversation with you for 30, 40 minutes, 1 hour, whatever it is. And I could still probably struggle to talk to my own sister in my own house, right?
Mhm.
I
You're
think
right.
everyone needs support in today's world. It's a very complex world. It's like internet and social media has brought us closer, but there's so much distance between people still. So
Mhm.
yeah, any form of solidarity, any form of connection is always so required in the world.
You're right. Yeah. Are there some hobbies that you enjoy doing?
Yeah, like I told you, I love singing, love
Mhm.
dancing, Bollywood dancing also. And I like writing,
Mhm. Mhm.
writing poetry. And that is something that I never share with anyone. Like I just write that poetry for myself and then I read it. And that's
Mhm.
something, of course, I'm crazy about the movies. I can consume content and movies
Mhm.
at the speed of light, literally.
Yeah, I write too, and I have a private Facebook group. It's called Poetry and Art Lovers.
Oh,
But
beautiful.
whenever you find the strength or you're ready, you're welcome to share some there as well.
Lovely.
Mhm.
I'm definitely going to check out your group. Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome. And I paint, I just teach myself.
Oh, that's amazing. Painting is also a great form of expression, I feel.
You're right. It's very
Yeah,
healing.
yeah.
hmm Um, other, do you watch Netflix? I feel like everyone has Netflix these days.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what are two of your favorite shows on there?
So, I mean, I definitely watch English shows, but we watch lot of Hindi shows as well.
hmm
So constantly watching Bollywood movies on Netflix.
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah, I mean, I would say in the last 10 years, I think some of the shows, I don't know if all of them are there on Netflix, but some of the shows that have impressed me because of certain aspects.
mm,
One could be like, Suits, which is so popular. I think shot in Canada also, if I'm not wrong.
mhm,
So I feel like it's fun in a very interesting way because the writing is nice, the way the evolution of each character. It's not like super intellectual, it's just
mm,
entertainment, but it's been a good show to watch. And of course, it ended a few years ago, but
mhm,
sometimes I watch the reruns, and
mhm,
that's been a good show. And then, of course, I used to, back in the day, about 4 or 5 years ago, I used to watch a lot of Downton Abbey because I used to find that British humor very interesting, the writing very interesting. So I mostly end up watching shows which are written very well.
Yeah, those are really good shows. I've heard of Downtown Abbey.
Yeah.
Um, I'm more into sci-fi fantasy, like to get me off
Oh,
this planet. Yeah, I recently watched Avatar, the new movie.
yes.
It's three hours something long. That's the longest movie I've ever watched, but it was
Oh,
worth
okay.
it. hmm
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good, really, really good.
Avatar, The Way of the Water. So I actually stepped into a theater and watched a movie after a long time just for Avatar because they had all these amazing 3D effects and everything. And I went and watched it in 4DX. So that's where your chair moves every time something happens on the
Oh,
the
wow,
water being
that's pretty
splashed when
brave.
they sprinkle water on your body and everything. It's damn funny, but it was beautiful. It was a
Wow,
great experience.
that's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've done 3D. You know, when you go in the theater, they give you a glass to put on your eyes.
Yes,
A few
that's 3D.
times I would just jump because I felt things were coming at me.
So
Yeah.
imagine in 4D, you physically feel the sensation because your chair is all over the place. It's moving, it's rotating. It's like a roller coaster ride. And like you said, that movie was more than 3 hours. So roller coaster ride for more than 3 hours.
Wow. Yeah, those are the best movies, but they're long. If you have kids, they get impatient.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So Rima, what's next on your journey? Are there some stuff you're working on right now? Some
Yes, in fact,
projects?
yes. In fact, I just started, I mean, I've just birthed this new offer, which is called the Voice Goddess. And
Mm,
this has happened as early as, I mean, as recently as April 1st. So that offer is now ready and I'm marketing it. So I was doing two signature offers. One was for women who wanted to become online coaches, and
mhm,
that was called, like visible, influential, profitable diva. So if you want to build a profitable online business, what are the steps you take? How do you show up? Just setting up your business basically. And then I was doing a program called the Video Goddess, which gave you all the skills necessary in terms of video for your business. So, how do you show up on a live video? How do you do a recorded video? How do you do webinars, sales calls, presentations, all of that?
mhm,
And then I don't know why, but I felt this shift where I wanted to go in a different direction. So it's similar but not same. So it's the voice goddess where I'm actually going to be working on voice mastery for women.
mhm,
So like I said, mental, emotional, physical, energetic voice mastery. And somehow I feel like all the work I've done so far, thus far, has led me to this offer. So I think it's my most powerful, most potent offering yet. So I'm
mhm,
super excited. I'm in the process of marketing it. I have a few beta clients. So the testing has begun. The testimonials are coming slowly and surely, and they're all really great. So yeah, so this is going to probably be my most powerful offer, and eventually it'll be a year-long program. Currently, there are iterations. There's a 6 month version, a 3 month version, and a 6 week beta version just for people who want to dip their toe into this work. But eventually, it's going to be like a year-long program. That's my vision for it. And I'm also actively really connecting with the divine feminine within me, the goddess energy within me, because I want to sort of channel that empowered, vibrant energy into this work. So that's the active inner work that I'm doing for this offer. So yeah,
Mhm.
and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, that's really cool. Um,
Thank
I love that you're working with the feminine energy
you.
because many people does they don't know how to really tap into it or
Mhm.
keep it afloat, meaning to access it as
Right.
needed or to just use it every day. So I feel that your work in that area is going to be very, very powerful for lots of people.
Yeah, and it is also something that I feel like, we're shifting towards that because we're kind of done. I think even the patriarchy is tired of itself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Like,
mm-hmm,
we're done trying to be robots in corporates and do things a certain way and, be so competitive and try and, kind of step on each other's toes. I think it's really time to build like this softer, more beautiful, more loving, more compassionate, collaborative world.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. Um, where can my listeners find you and your work?
So a lot of places I'm pretty much guilty of being available on all platforms, but yes, I'm one of those who tries. I'm like trying to please all the social media platforms. I'll come here. It's okay. You don't worry. I'm not neglecting you. I'm here as well. So that kind of thing. So sometimes it exhausts me, but I feel like I'm trying to tap into audiences everywhere. But primarily, I have this Facebook group which is called Invisible to Influential,
Mm,
and they join that Facebook group. They sort of enter my vortex. All my work is there. My videos are there. I keep doing live trainings, master classes, challenges in there. So
mhm,
that's a great place to sort of really connect with me and really sample my work and my vision.
mhm,
Another place is obviously Instagram. It's again, I keep doing short reels and fun content on there. So my Instagram handle is also very, very easy. It's just at Rima.Medhi, which is my name.
mhm,
So it's not very difficult to find. So those are the two places. And of course, I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm also on, like another platform, this, that, and the other. But I don't want to confuse people, so I'm giving them two handles that they can find me at.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, and also I'll be sharing the links for anybody so that if they don't remember how to find it. Yeah, that's awesome that you're on so many platforms. I try to be, I would say Instagram really challenges me. It looks very easy, but sometimes it challenges me, but that's really cool. Your group, it sounds really fun as well.
Yeah, it's like full of really rich content
Mhm,
because I tried to make it into an interactive hub, but I got more response when I really started sharing really seriously potent content. So people can just join my group and they could just have a transformation in the way they speak or in the way they work as a coach, because there's so much content I've just put out there, because I feel like so many people who encounter you, join your group, not everyone's going to turn into a client, but I do want to make a difference in everyone's life. So there's a lot of content in there.
mhm. Yeah, you're right. Because if people join the group, they can see what you're doing. They don't necessarily have to be a client, but they still get the benefit of what you're sharing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm. Well, Rima, before I let you go, do you have any final thoughts, words of encouragement, or anything that we didn't touch on that you would like to cover?
Firstly, I think this was a great experience. It's been a beautiful chat, though it's late at night for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think you have some amazing calming energy. Your listening skills are so beautiful. I feel so heard
Mhm.
and
Thank
see,
you.
despite the fact that I know that this is not a visual sort of a medium that we're on, but I really feel heard and seen. So thank you so much.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think I want to tell people all over, whether men, women, any particular gender. I mean, I'm just being inclusive with this advice, saying
Mhm.
that it's really, really important for you to connect with your voice within. And for all practical purposes, for lack of a better term, I say that there's the voice goddess hiding and hibernating and dormant inside every person. So
Mhm.
awaken and really, come into your own power and express yourself, whatever be your message. Something
Mhm,
small, something big, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're a teenager or a child, even.
mhm,
Just, use this life to kind of use your voice to do the most amazingly profound work
mhm,
and connect and spread love and be friends. And your voice is going to help you in every aspect. So,
I love that. Yeah, what you just described is one of the many reasons I call the podcast the unleashing. When I thought of the word unleashing, it's completely letting go. I saw it as a big dinosaur or beast that I've been, holding back and just letting it go. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I
and
look forward to being on your podcast soon.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. God willing, very soon. God is willing very soon. And one thing I'd love to offer your audience,
Yes.
if any of them want to experience my work, they want to dip their toe in the water and see what it's like.
Mhm,
I'm on this mission to offer 100 women a
mhm.
free voice activation session. So
Wow.
you can book that session. I'll share the calendar link with you so you can share it along with the other links. They can
Mhm,
book a session. They can come with their most potent voice block. It could be fear of public speaking, camera shyness, whatever childhood trauma of speaking on stage, fumbling, not being able to find words, getting nervous, whatever it is,
mhm,
not having a clear voice. They can just come with one block, and I will take about 80 to 90 minutes, and I
mhm,
will do this really powerful energetic technique which really facilitates them to release that trauma from their body and their mind and their energy.
mhm.
And that's transformation I'm offering 100 women this year. That's my determination. And yes, of course, after that, if you feel called to work with me and if I feel that we're aligned, of course I'd love to work with you. But this is my, to women all over.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll make sure I'm one of those women out
Yes,
of there
that's going to
because
be
I love
amazing.
learning. I love it.
Yes, yes, yes. Please, please book a call with me. I'm so happy to offer you that.
I will. Thank you so much again, Rima, for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you for this wonderful experience. I wish
You're
you
welcome.
um, very much like a lot of success, all the very best. And I hope that your podcast just goes from strength to strength.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very